But when I got out, Daria, my friends were worried that I'd work in a McDonald's and I'm gonna kill somebody because I'm gonna take direction from some 28-year-old punk kid. He's yelling at me. I'm gonna rip it. Excuse me. Oh yeah. I'm gonna rip his head off.
Hello everyone, it's Prison Architect stream time once again, and today with me our special guest and fan favorite, Larry Lawton. Hello Larry, how are you?
Daria, how are you doing? How's everybody doing out there?
We're doing really great. We just had our release yesterday, and Second Chances DLC is now available to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC players. Unfortunately, Nintendo Switch players have to wait a little bit, and we're gonna release it next week. June 29th is your date. Don't forget about that, people. And today we're gonna continue exploring new features and some really awesome rehabilitation programs that are part of Second Chances DLC, and that's why we have Larry with us today, just because Larry is a specialist and no one knows more about rehabilitation and prison reform than Larry does. So we would really love to listen to you and kind of learn some more new and exciting stuff, and actually, kind of steer attention from gameplay, which of course is super fun and colorful, and talk more about real life problems that exist not only in America but all over the world. And I think it's very important for us to actually, put that in focus and use Prison Architect as a platform to raise awareness. And of course, there is another surprise, but you guys already know about it, and Larry knows already, so it's not really a big surprise. But if you haven't seen, Larry is now a part of Prison Architect game. Like, he has his actual character designed after him, and we're gonna show how Larry, his character, helps inmates rehabilitate and find, a better future in the world. And yeah, it's very exciting, and I know, Larry, that you've been on the tour all over the States. So, do you want to share anything about it with us?
This is a special show, Daria. And I got back a few days ago and I jumped on it and I said, yes, I can do it. And the reason being is, rehabilitation means a lot for me in the system. I was actually just touring. I went to a few prisons in the United States. And, if we don't rehabilitate, we're just, we're on a bad cycle. And this goes around the world. I mean, the United States is not, my channel knows it, not a great prison country, where Norway and Germany and a lot of the European countries are a lot better. So this is going to be fun. And I want everybody to understand that this is a great game. And I'm so proud, and thank you guys for my character. We'll have some fun today with that. But it's also a special show because we do believe in second chances, and I love the name. Look at me. They call me the poster boy in America for second chances, an honorary police officer now, also recognized on the floor of the United States Congress. Anything can happen, and I was a bad guy. People who know me or know my past, I was a bad guy, and if they read my book, they always say, wow, you were bad when you were younger. But people changed, Daria, and that's why it's going to be a fun show today. Let me quick story. This is really important. When I was in prison, one of the most powerful moments I had is myself and two other inmates helped a man with a life sentence read. Now remember this, he could not read the word "the." He couldn't read "the cat jumped over the moon" or whatever that. He could not even read. Now he had a life sentence. I could not even imagine being incarcerated and not being able to read. Because, it saved my life. I studied the law. I read books every day. I did stuff. And it was one of the most powerful moments of our life when that man got his GED, which is in America. I don't know, it's your high school diploma. It's through a thing. He goes, this is the best moment of my life except for my kids. Now, this is a man with a life sentence in prison there. And helping him to read. So I'm a believer in this program and rehabilitation and second chances. So let's have fun, though. Let's not make this gloom. This is going to be fun. And everybody out there, you better have fed the people, because you can't rehabilitate them without feeding them.
Johanna, can you show how many times we do actually feed our people in this prison.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's. I mean, this is just probably one of the best advice that was given to the whole community by Larry.
Oh, look at. But again, a little bit odd. You feed at 9 at night. You know. But okay, we're working on something.
It's work in progress, I promise.
It is. Hey, I'm happy you're feeding us. Okay, here's your schedule. Spiritual guidance, behavioral guidance, office shepherds, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Okay, go ahead. Where's your program? Show me the program.
Here you can see them. They just called one animal therapy, where inmates can interact with dogs or other animals. Unfortunately, in the game we only see the dogs. Reformed prisoner. That is actually something that your character is a part of. And conflict resolution is another rehabilitation program that is now available, but this is not it. They actually have a lot more opportunities right now to enter outside world and become civilians. Their behavior and what type of labor they are assigned to in the prison can actually help them rehabilitate better and, for example, find work in laundry, in cafeterias, or other. Here you see town's factory, cleaning agency, and this is something that actually they were able to found when they were released after all those steps of rehabilitation programs. So it's another opportunity for them to re-enter the world and re-enter the society. But I think we're gonna actually take a look at the program that your character is a part of, and that should be very exciting. Joanna, we command you to show us Larry's mini-me. His fantastic cameo in the game.
Where's Larry?
Yeah, you just left the prison, so he should come back soon.
Oh, good. I got out.
For the second time. Whoa, look at you.
What's really good about this day is you guys made my character really who I am. And that's what made me say, oh, let's do something like that. I love it. Because even my bio and everything about it is, and we're going to change the number. I hope you do. To my actual prison number.
For me, it was a great learning opportunity. For example, discovering the problems that exist in prison reform all over the world, and the atrocities that also happening. And we as a society, we need to know more about that and be more welcoming, especially when people who want to get a second chance actually get it, but then we should kind of embrace them and not reject them when they enter world and come back from prison. So yeah, for me it always a spiral of this kind of thoughts and how we can improve ourselves as well on top of it.
Well, with that said, it's very important for me to say this. I tell people who don't, they say, they committed a crime, throw them in jail, they robbed someone, they did something. 95% of all people who go to prison get out. 95%. You want someone who gets out that moves next to you to have hope, be rehabilitated, get his drugs taken care of, have a job opportunity, have everything, and be a productive member of society, paying the taxes, paying, using the stores, paying rent. Or do you want a guy who gets out, who doesn't give a shit, and before you know it, you're his next victim? So even if you don't like the act of, they were an ex-con, you still should want a person rehabilitated. And that's what programs do. That's what this second chance is. And as I always say, when you're 20 years old, you think you know it all. When you hit 30, you look back and go, man, I was an idiot at 20. When you hit 40, you look back and go, I was still stupid at 30. When you hit 50, you look back and go, am I ever going to learn anything? Now, at my age, I look back and say, wow. What's next? I mean, so I want people to realize they change. People change. They're not the same person when they went away. And that's why I do like what I'm looking at. Oh, there's my character.
Yeah, finally.
Oh, there it is. Wrong number, so I'm getting out. But, and my tattoos. I don't see tattoos. Not on my head. Not on my head. I don't have anything on my head. But
But you,
okay.
Larry, you don't even have arms or legs in this game. So-
No, I got big arms with tattoos. So, but I do like that you put up the true bio. So it's legit. You got me at age 61. I'm 60 still. So we could have changed that. I'll be
Will
61
do,
in
I
October.
promise.
I'll be 61 in October. Uh, wow, I love it, guys. Good job. Thank you. Very good job. And now there you go. Look at this former player. Am I gonna in this game? Do I teach a class?
Yes, you do. It's actually a meet and greet program that your character is a part of, and as a reformed prisoner, you're actually coming to prisons to teach and explain and kind of share your experience, especially, with the. We don't really have, young adults here because, the characters all look the same, but that is actually a big part of what you're doing, right? And you're helping young adults and kids to kind of be aware of what can happen with them if they're not, law-abiding or not really aware of the whole prison system. So, yeah, I think that's actually one of the most awesome things in this DLC that we're kind of, following your steps and
Well,
having your character here.
but I'm loving it. Okay, Matt Young we got up here. Who's Matt Young?
It's just one of the random persons who decided to attend your meet and greet, actually. Sentence for aggravated burglary. Yeah, you can teach this guy some manners, I think.
Aggravated burglary. Coming from America and understanding the American prison system, which is well known around the world, is one of the worst. And I'm not proud of that. That's one of my, one of the reasons I actually started YouTube was to bring an awareness to the broken prison system and judicial system the United States has. And I'm sorry to say, and I've heard from the governments and everyone asking me certain things, and I just tell it like it is. I think your audience will know that. I kind of don't hold anything back. And unless you base your prison on rehabilitation, missing the boat. Obviously young people, they get into the environment, and they should. They get into a lot of social issues, whether it's gay rights or this, and I love all that. I'm such a proponent of all of that. I am also realizing, and young people got to realize, if you don't fix your judicial systems and criminal justice systems and prison systems, all you're doing is having a revolving door of hate and hurt. And then, okay, let's make the planet good. What's good with the planet if our people are incarcerated, or if we're not helping them get off of drugs or addictions or whatever issues people are? And I'm no bleeding heart, so to speak. I'm a liberal in my own ways. I believe in freedoms, real freedoms. I love people, well, we're not free as you think. Obviously, because we have prison systems like this. Now, we have to have laws. That's what makes us have to have rules. I just talked about that in a video. It makes us a society that's functionable. Without laws, it'd be one for all for one, and let's just live crazy lives. I'd do good. But my point being is we need the young people and the old people, you're right, to get into this more. And I think they can. And I think if they actually have characters that whatever you do to them, they have a different outcome, would be a great add-on. Because if you give a person a program on drug addiction, then there's a situation down the line in the game where he could take drugs and become a psychopath and kill people, but he doesn't do it because he had that rehabilitation program. That's a win for everybody. It's a win for the game. It's a win for a person's mentality. Oh, this did work. So there's so much to do. You're going to get me nuts on this, Larry. You know how I am. I'm crazy with this stuff. I'm looking at all these prisons. I'm looking at everything. My brain is flooded. Oh, no!
Oh, Larry, I love you so much. This is just nuts. But yeah, I mean, you're completely right. And actually, in Second Chances, you don't only have to see those who were successful in their rehabilitation. There are also people who can get back to prison once again because the there were some, flaws in the system or rehabilitation program was not done correctly. And you can see on the screen actually here that some inmates actually do get back reoffending. Yeah.
Well, listen, no system, none in the world is going to have what they call 100% recidivism rate, which means the rate of person going back. The United States has a very bad recidivism rate, very high. I think it's over 60% of people who get out reoffending go back. European countries, Norway was one of the best. It went from like 45, 40, 50% to 20%. Now, remember that. That means 8 out of 10 who get out are staying out. It's a good rate. If you had a 50% rating, 5 out of 10 stay out, they'll go back. But, you can talking about for money, you can talking about for the social issues. The more people we keep out, the more productive members of society you have, the more tax dollars you can create. It means a lot, and then you don't need this. Now, I can get into the socioeconomics of prisons and what they do for towns. This, to me, is where we have to show young people, learn it here, because this really does base off of normal stuff when you feed them. Now, it really does, Larry. And that's why, so don't ever get down on that. You can't get down on the system. Because what's the alternative? What's the alternative? We shoot people, leave them in there forever? That's not a society I want to live in. I want to live in a society with compassion and love and, I don't know, I'm a hippie, free sex, do everything you want. And I've seen it, shakedowns and lockdowns and, finding knives, finding stuff, which is all true. So that's good it's there. But having this element and this new element, the second chance element, I'm proud of Prison Architect. I'm really happy they did this, and I'm glad to work with you for this, because prison reform, prison rehabilitation, lower recidivism rate, that's all what I do. Set rules, set boundaries. People need them. Inmates, people incarcerated, you and I, we need them. It makes us a normal society, but it also touches on understand their feelings. Person gets out of prison, he just lived in an environment where he's watching his back. It's a whole different animal getting out, and I'm glad we're doing this.
I don't know what to add, because that's how I feel as well, and I'm so happy that we as a community have a chance to really gather here, if it's just a stream about a video game, and just discuss stuff that matters and stuff that is really important. But I'm kind of curious, because before the stream I was just Googling stuff here and there to see what kind of rehabilitation programs are available in different countries. And I know that in Sweden, for example, there are even several schools all over the country where the former inmates, can attend and have classes that would help them, to find maybe a next profession or a professional occupation, and just get some, new social skills. And also those programs kind of help them to, fight addictions, and, mental health professionals are also working with them, which is very important, I think, especially nowadays, because we live in a crazy world. But I was wondering, if you have, of course you have, some examples of those real-life rehabilitation programs that we can discuss, and maybe even think about including them in the game.
Well, obviously, yes. And you're 100% right in everything you just said. And the more I look at it in the rehabilitation programs, obviously you have to get to the core of something. Why did a person? We know, like you take bullying. Why is he bullying? Get to that core and you can fix it. Same with inmates. Why did he rob the bank? Well, he was a drug addict and he needed drugs, and the drugs were more powerful than his reasoning of doing something that was wrong. Was he abused? Did he have a bad personal life in the beginning? Did he have no structure? Did he try to? I hear kids in prison when I was there, 11 years old. They quit school to go, rob something to put food on the table. Well, don't tell the guy what's wrong. This kid couldn't feed his family. You can tell me anything you want. If I can't feed my family, I'm going to do what I have to do to feed my family. Period. So let's get to where we can help that person. So in your game, You could have educational programs to advance. You could have technical schools. And they do in some of them. But some of them are bullshit too, in prisons where they just use them for prison labor. And we don't like that. I'm a big, they have what the thing in the United States called Unicorn. Well, Unicorn makes hats, let's say. But they're putting a business out on the street because they got slave wages, paying them pennies, literally pennies. That's not rehabilitation. That's slave wages. Let's give them a skill or a trade if they're not, or even communication skills. Too many times, I tell everybody the best two things you can do for your family or kid or anybody getting out of prison, or even not, is teach them communication skills and how to read. And when I say read, I don't mean just read, I mean comprehension. Understanding what you read is a big deal, because if you could do that, you could read directions and understand them totally. And also how to communicate with your neighbor. So if they had in here, look, in this game, in rehabilitation program, communication skills. You'd be surprised at how many people can't communicate with another person without being offended or wanting to take the lead and fighting them and arguing over the stupidest thing, not hearing and reasoning from the other person. I tell everybody in my life, we're all opinionated, and we should be. That's important. But, if there's a topic and you could change my mind, I'll change it. I'm not stuck on stupid, I call it. So if there's something out there that you can teach me about and debate me with and then change my mind, you'll do that. So we need to teach that in a rehabilitation. So you need a game on that. I love your animal therapy. I love your reform prison. Conflict resolution. In prison, how you conflict resolve, who wins, who's the tougher guy, who's got the sharper knife, if you want to call it that, who's got the cojones to stab somebody. I mean, I stabbed 2 people, and I've been stabbed twice. I'm not proud of that, Daria, but I did it to survive in a place that was crazy. Now, if there was educational programs, I worked in what they call a law library. So when I worked in a law library, I taught people how to what they call shepherdize, which is actually checking laws. So it's very important because we didn't have computers. And they don't just let people have computers in prison. You got to monitor them. What's the guy going to do on the computer? There's that balance. The classes they need to have, the rehabilitation programs they need to have, whether it's, first of all, education. Now, they're supposed to have them. Do they? No. They need the programs that are going to make people successful when they get out. We're going to put a contest together where we're going to really grade a prison. It's not just on security, it's going to be on everything. I don't have enough programs, and you better feed me. I'm telling you, you better feed me. But so I think we can do something good about that and make people start, hey, I need to put that rehabilitation program. And think about it. If you make a mistake, why did you make the mistake? And do you need that help? Society should be about help. It should not be about just incarceration. I have a motto. It's called education, not incarceration.
Oh,
And
that's a great naming.
The teachers, well, that's why you got me. You got a character who believes in that education and that rehabilitation. We need that. We need it bad. So does your country. So does Germany. Even with good prison system, everything can be better. Nobody has the perfect system. What are we on? This is the first game, to be honest, I've ever even heard of that has anything like this. So you got to give kudos to your developers and all your planners and your people who've done what they've done. And that, I think, is going to have long-term effects in a positive way on a lot of people. And you got to be proud of that, no matter what you do as a company.
I mean, not as proud as you, who's actually saving people out there and teaching stuff with just, small steps.
Area, you guys are too. You don't know it, and you don't realize it, but you are. And take credit for that. People have to want to rehabilitate. You can give them all the programs in the world. You gotta want it. You gotta want it to a degree, and you can push things towards it, make them want it, or show them why it's a success. People ask me all the time, Larry, you were one of the bad guys, and now look at you. I go, it's not everything that comes about comes from deeper reasons. And, I think most people have that heart that's good. I believe the good in people. That's why I always believe the glass is half full. instead of half empty. And I want people to get the prison architect, look at my character, look at their characters, and they're going to get more points in my game when we grade them, when they have good bill program. Can you bring up, Joanna, can you bring up the programs, please? Okay, yeah, see, this is this. You know, I was looking at this, and obviously carpentry apprentice, foundation education program, general education, behavioral therapy. These are good for the personal. Now, and the alcohol therapy, the guard taser surgery, that's not us. Parole hearing, that's all stuff. What they could put in here is more real world stuff that will help you when you get out. The carpentry school was the one, but they could put technical, computer skills, things that are going to be real world help when they get out. The worst thing a person could do is look at these programs, be in a prison, have that positive attitude, look there and say, what am I going to do with all this shit when I get out? Yeah, I got to fix myself. I got to definitely, get off drugs if that's what it is or what not. But what are they going to do when they get out? That's rehabilitation. Because if you feel self-worth when you get out, and that's very important. I talked about that in that video today about let the person do the work because you feel good when you accomplish something. I don't care if it was when I got out. I learned the bus route. I felt accomplishment. I did it myself. Yes, I was nervous. I was in prison for so long. And I learned the bus route. I had to ask a bus driver, where am I? And what do I do? And they know they're looking like, hey, you crazy here? You're a 45-year-old man, 47-year-old man. But you feel good. Same here. So prison architect, put programs in there that are work related or will make you a positive person when you get out. Only when you have, kitchen safety and hygiene is not a trade. Carpentry apprenticeship, that's the best. Other than that, I was looking, and we need something where we could. Now they're all good. Now let me stop you. They are very good, and we need them all. We need them because there's people with drug addictions, there's people with inferiority complexes, there's sexuality issues. There's a lot of issues that we don't need, and they need help with, and they need to get it. I always tell people in my programs, be who you are. It's life, man. The people who want you and love you will be with you no matter what in life. Just be nice. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Period. It's the greatest way to live. But these programs in the game now, get back to your game. I know I get off on tangents. Put some more programs.
I'm just waiting for a chance to actually comment on some of them, because here in Prison Architect there are a lot of new jobs appeared with the Second Chances DLC, and for example, an inmate who decided to work in a restaurant or in a bakery, they would be able to actually find a job in a restaurant when they get out. Same for the cleaning agency. They just worked in laundry in prison. So those kind of programs, kitchen hygiene, it's important for them to know, of course, if they want to continue working, I don't know, in the restaurant or the, I don't know, hospitality industry, something like that. So there is a bit of connection between the job that they can choose inside while they inside the prison and the real life job that they can get when they're getting out. But from what I understand, when you're talking about it feels like the institution, the middle institutions between prison and the rest of the society, they don't really exist. How people who were incarcerated and, for example, were unable to attend any rehabilitation programs or learn new trade, how they would be able to actually re-enter the society if there is no institution willing to teach them that and help them with that.
Yeah, but don't get it twisted to think, oh, we're going to put them in the kitchen mopping floors, and now we're teaching them to be a hospitality worker. That's BS. Give them a job. If a person goes to prison and he's a drug dealer, and he made a lot of money, you're going to tell him he's going to get out and do this? Try to give him something that could take his brain power, not mop a floor, and call it hospitality work. Obviously, anything you do, period, can be a job. Somebody has that job, then that's okay. And I'm not knocking that job. I think they need to put more programs that will, again, like a CDL or a technical college or a plumbing school or a air conditioning and refrigeration. It's a big business in at least America. How about an automotive mechanic? I don't want it. I pay enough for mine. So, I mean, those are trades, those are good trades that people can make a lot of money or feel good about themselves. Maybe higher end jobs, if you want to call it that. Maybe you can put a whole section in if an inmate's a good inmate, if an inmate is producing, he worked the menial job, so to speak, the orderly. We call them orderlies in prison. So he's an orderly in the unit. He's mopping, he's washing the windows, he's an orderly. So if he's doing his job good in there in orderly, then he can move over to carpentry training if he wanted to be a carpenter, or a auto mechanic, or a CDL, or a technical college, or computer. So we could do things like that instead of just calling everything, oh, we're helping him out. Look, we're teaching him a job. He's cleaning floors and he's going to work in the hospitality industry. Obviously, kitchen workers, who actually are cooks. I'm not talking about the dishwasher. You don't need prison skills to be a dishwasher. I hope not. Joanna, let's take that $95,955 and let's put it towards more rehabilitation.
It's actually another feature that we were discussing during the live stream, that now in prison architect it's possible to actually put higher wages for some certain jobs and attract more inmates to actually, for them to be interested in this kind of trade, or maybe learn something new, or just get decent wage, because that's important.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That is a great feature, because I'm not a believer in prisons working on a profit. America has, they call it the prison profit system. It's called private prisons, where they actually make money on people's misery. And I'm very against that anywhere. I grade prisons. I want it doesn't have to, it should be self-sufficient if you can do that, obviously. Now, if the cost, I don't care. Like I said, if every society member put $1 up and we can save so many people, you know how many people would say yes? I went down a block and said, listen, I want all of you to put up $1 and we're going to keep 5 people from murdering someone. It's $1. I mean, nobody's going to say no to that. What I was getting at is, I found out in America, wardens get bonuses when they save money by cutting food, cutting programs.
The program that your character is a part of, the reformed prisoner consultant that you actually are, and some of the benefits of this program include a chance of negative, behavior traits being reduced, so they can become less, angry, aggravated, and this kind of program would actually help them reduce their anger and, all those negative traits that are actually a part of almost every inmate's life. Because, I mean, look at the kind of circumstances they're in. We can understand it perfectly, that nobody would be sane, or, it takes a huge mental toll on everyone's, health, not only physical but also mental, to be in a prison, to be incarcerated. And I wanted Joanna to actually show us the job menu for you, Larry, to see that you can actually, advertise some certain jobs by making the wages much more higher.
Just to let you know, we also call that program what you just said anger management.
Anger management.
That's a program here in American prisons. In the court systems, it's called anger management. And obviously it's self-explanatory, but they do have that. It's the same as you had in there, something, but the name. Look at this kitchen.
So you can actually increase the wages for some certain specific jobs to make them more appealing to inmates. We actually do have a restaurant and a bakery available in Second Chances, and inmates can actually practice baking and preparing food for the civilians that are gonna come to prison.
There's that list, prisoner wages and finance. I would take that list, and obviously, you probably want to pay them 150% more, because you need someone in there to cook. He can be good. But I love the forestry, but the jobs I was talking about could be up there, and that would be the next step. That's like, wow, if you can do this job for 6 months, you can go to AC, air conditioning refrigeration school. You can go to auto mechanic school. Because listen, there's vehicles there. There's obviously I like the forestry, even though we don't have that in the United States. There's no forestry programs in the United States. You know how many weapons would be made? But there are machine shops, and there are stuff in lower level prisons and stuff of that nature. And again, they also have to maintain the prison, which they do. And they also have to, like most prisons in the United States, every major prison, like a maximum security prison, will have a minimum security, low, that handles the outside. You don't want murderers outside working the forestry and then walking away. But we have what they call camp workers who actually support the outside of the prison, which is trucks coming in, which is the lawn and the maintenance and stuff of that nature. But, all of that stuff needs mechanics. You want to repair lawnmowers, you want to repair weed eaters or whatever it is. So those are just things. So jobs could be expanded in a big way here.
We will take notes and actually talk it over with the developers, because the things that you are suggesting, I think that could make a perfect addition to what we already have. And this is not the last update for Prison Architect, so obviously we will have more opportunities to introduce more rehabilitation programs and new jobs for the inmates. So yeah, thank you. That's awesome stuff.
When I come on here, you always say, Larry, just be yourself and do it like it is. Whether it's the eating, whether it's the food and security, where the visiting rooms are, whatever. You take the whole prison in itself and how it's set up. And it's amazing how my brain works with this, because I really like it. I don't mean like it. I want to see people do well.
We are getting closer to the end of our stream. And thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being here for us, educating us, letting us, understand what it's like to be in your shoes. I think this is super important. And as I see from the chat, people do love you so much, and they are very excited about you joining us again and again. And we, getting deeper with every single stream, we're getting deeper in understanding how the system works and what we can do as a society to help, not only inmates, but people around us, because as you said, we know nothing about them, but it doesn't really matter. We should be compassionate enough without, knowing every dirty secret or little detail about them. So thank you so much, Larry, for being here with us. I'm very excited about what else we can bring to Prison Architect, following your advice mostly. So, and I'm kind of, very glad and happy that you liked what you see and that you approved of this kind of programs and features that are available in our new DLC. That's, I think, the biggest honor that we as the developers can hear.
I really want to thank you guys as well, but I really, I'd love to grade, do somehow grading system, somehow put I hate to say a win-lose, because people always want to shoot for something. So have something where it can get to the highest rated prison, and then we rate the highest rated prison. Something of that nature, I think is great. I'm really happy that the audience and my audience likes it. I'm sure they all, they can all follow me on my YouTube channel and wherever. And I want them to, I get so many emails about this kind of stuff, and I'm sure I'll get some more, and they know how to contact me. I'm no special. I tell people this every day. I'm not smarter than you. I'm not. Only thing I have over you is experience in a place you don't want to go.
Also passionate and very invested in what you're doing. That's no denying that all those features, you actually have them. You're very passionate about everything you do.
That when I lose that, I'll quit. I mean that. I can retire with the Coast Guard and my pension, and I just love what I do. And when you're right, when I stop having that passion and seeing that positive, I want to come to Sweden. We got to do a live stream together.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
We could film the party. That'll be fun.
Now we only need to wait till the pandemic ends finally, because I mean,
I agree. 100%.
I mean
I do want to come see you guys. I'd love, come out there to Sweden. I get asked to do a lot of speaking tours, and I think I'm gonna do one in Europe. And when I do, I'll coordinate a lot of things, obviously. But I just did America, and it was a lot of fun. So
yeah, we would be very happy to have you here with us in the studio, or I don't know, maybe at PDX next year. Let's try and explore our options. But thank you.
I figured it out. But keep up the good work, prisoner, and your developers. Give them the thumbs up. Really, I'm happy to see it. Happy to support it. Happy to look at it. And now I'm gonna go on and look at more. And so the next time I'll probably have another list of stuff.
Yeah,
but
we will be waiting. Larry, it was really amazing to have you with us today. I mean, I'm very excited for whatever comes next, and I don't know, wish you a great day and good luck with your YouTube tutorial, your book, your program, with everything.
Thank you, Larry. You guys have been great. Thank you, Joanna, to everybody. You all been great. I really appreciate your support. I like that you're building stuff, putting my name on that, because I believe in it. And I think Second Chance is a great name, and rehabilitation is great. Keep up the great work, Prison Architect. I really enjoyed it today.
Will do. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.